Part 19. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the Emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 181. It seems that your god clan is not very good either. After Suju finished speaking, his figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he had already reached the head of one of the god generals. Click. Suju's palm fell on the god general's head, and with a crisp sound, the god general's head was directly twisted off in the unbelievable eyes of Man-Hai and others. Hiss. Seeing this scene, everyone in the wilderness palace took a deep breath, their eyes filled with horror. As members of the god clan, they have always heard about the power of god generals. The god clan has hundreds of divine generals, each of which is refined by a ninth-grade ancient god. Coupled with countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures, its hardness cannot be matched even by the master god. But what about now? The god general who was indestructible in their hearts had his head wrenched off with bare hands on the spot. This made many people couldn't help but shrink their heads, as if it was their heads that had just been unscrewed. Since you have no means, let me show you my means. Swish swish swish. After Suju finished speaking, the divine swords in the hands of the 9 divine generals all flew out. As Suju's mind moved, the heads of the remaining 8 divine generals were also cut off. Go. Swish swish swish. The next second, Suju waved his right hand, and the 9 divine swords turned into thousands of sword lights, directly covering the millions of people in the wilderness palace. Not good. Buzz. Feeling the powerful aura of these golden lights, Man-Hai's expression changed, and then the power in his body exploded, and he held up a light shield to resist these sword lights. The other people in the wilderness palace also came to their senses and burst out with strength to support the light mask. Why bother to resist? Bang bang bang. Suju sneered, pointed the sword, the power of the sword light increased again, and the light shield instantly shattered. He he he. Ah. At the same time, these sword rays continued to kill Manhuangdian and others with unabated force. How could these people resist Suju's methods? There were constant screams, and countless figures were killed, heading towards the ground. Fall. Come on, we are no match for this ancient emperor. Man-Hai shouted angrily with a pale face, and was about to lead everyone away. Now he finally knew that the ancient emperor was too powerful. I am afraid that even if a strong man from the realm of the Lord God comes, he will not be his opponent. Could it be that the other party is a strong man in the ancestral god realm? Man-Hai doesn't know and has no time to think about it. Now he just wants to leave here quickly. I didn't let you leave, so who dares to leave? Suju sneered, waved her right hand, and the space where the Manhuang Palace and others were was immediately imprisoned. Sir, this space is imprisoned and we can't escape. Hearing this, Man-Hai's face was filled with despair. It's over now, so many of them will probably die here. It seems that your god clan is not very good either. Everyone in the Manhuang Palace was in panic, but Li Yuan was extremely calm. It's not that he didn't want to escape, but he knew that in his current state, he couldn't escape at all. He was dead anyway, so it didn't matter. Humph, then I'll let you be buried with me first. Man-Hai snorted coldly, and waved his right hand, and a ray of light struck towards Li Yuan. Li Yuan stood quietly and did not dodge. Seeing that the aura was about to hit him, a sword light fell, just in time. Saved him. It seems that I am also useful to the ancient emperor. Seeing that he was fine, Li Yuan joked. Man-Hai gritted his teeth and wanted to kill Li Yuan again, but found that dozens of sword lights fell around him, trapping him directly and letting him explode with power. To no avail. Man-Hai was trapped, and the rest of the people in the Manhuang Palace couldn't even think about it. There were millions of people, but in the blink of an eye, there were only less than 100,000 left, and the number was still decreasing. The Lord's method was too terrifying. He actually trapped so many people inside and massacred them. This is a world where the strong are respected. For us, the Lord's methods are too bloody, but for the Lord, it is probably just killing a group of ants. Guyur and others secretly smacked their lips as they looked at the people of the wilderness palace who were constantly falling. Fortunately, they had recognized the emperor of the wilderness as their master, otherwise the fate of the wilderness palace would be theirs. A quarter of an hour passed, and when the last scream fell, all the millions of people in the wilderness palace had been killed. If you look down, you will find that all the mountains and rivers are corpses. The rivers have long been dyed red with blood, and even the mountains are covered with a layer of blood. You go clean up the battlefield. Suju looked at Anita and the others and said, "These people in the wilderness palace have a lot of cultivation resources, and they can't just waste them." "Yes." Anita and others said, then their eyes were full of surprise, and they quickly flew downwards. Although their strength is not weak now, they are still too weak compared to the gods, and they must have enough practice. Resources can be used to improve cultivation. Anita and others went down to collect the corpses. Suju also looked at Li Yuan and the barely surviving man high in front of him. "Tell me, if you, the gods, have nothing to do and are not staying in the god realm, why are you going to the upper realm?" Suju asked lightly. Man high's eyes were red and he looked at Suju with hatred. "Want to know the reason? You are dreaming. If you can, kill me. Anyway, all the people in my wilderness palace will be dead. Now that everyone in the wilderness palace is dead, he, as the master of the palace, has no idea of continuing to live. As for revenge, he has given up. With the strength shown by the wilderness emperor, he will never be able to get revenge no matter how hard he practices. What's more, he has given up on revenge. Even the ancient emperor couldn't let him go. If you don't tell me, I will naturally find out." Suju smiled slightly and snapped his fingers, and the memory in Man Hai's mind was obtained by Suju. "I see." After learning the specific reason, Suju showed a look of surprise. No wonder the people from the God clan came to the upper world. It turned out that they were looking for something. "How do you say?" Thinking about it, Suju looked at Li Yuan in front of him. According to Man Hai's memory, Li Yuan had a map in his hand to find this thing. "The map is in the imperial court, please give it to me." Li Yuan snorted coldly. Suju smiled slightly. This Li Yuan was very tough and did not look like a prisoner at all. "Whether I can give you pleasure or not is not my decision. People from the demon clan probably don't want to give you pleasure either," Suju said, and with a wave of his right hand, Li Yuan's cultivation was abolished on the spot. Kill me if you can. Even if I die, I, Li Yuan, will not be humiliated in any way." Hearing Suju's words, Li Yuan immediately roared. But Suju was too lazy to pay attention to the other party. After imprisoning the other party, he moved and disappeared from the place. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 182. Is this the imperial court? Suju looked at the tall palace in front of him and smiled. It is indeed the imperial court, surrounded by thousands of palaces. These palaces formed a huge formation, but they were of no use to Suju. Thinking, Suju walked inside, passed through these formations easily, and soon came to the innermost palace. According to Li Yuan, the map is hidden here. Thinking about it, Suju's mind moved, and his consciousness suddenly covered the entire palace, and he soon opened his eyes. This should be it. The next second, Suju appeared in the palace and his eyes fell on a mural. The mural was the scene of the battle between the three heavenly clans. If ordinary people only thought it was an ordinary mural, Suju could I feel that there is a space in it. Buzz. Thinking about it, Suju stretched out her right hand and passed directly through the mural. A few seconds later, a map appeared in Suju's hand. Opening the map, Suju looked at it carefully, but the more she looked at it, the more surprised she became. Isn't this my vegetable patch? Suju frowned. He could no longer determine the places recorded on the map. After all, after the war, the upper world collapsed, and the Dingtian world was once a part of the upper world. After so many years, everything has changed, and nothing can be seen from just a map. But in addition, there is also a formation recorded on this map. Although the formation is only incomplete, Suju knows very well that this formation has nothing to do with the food. The formations in the ground are exactly the same. Could it be that the formation in this vegetable field is the passage the gods are looking for? Suju squinted her eyes. There are many special things about this vegetable field. The upper realm wanted to destroy the Dingtian world before, and it was because of the power of the formation in this vegetable field. It can be seen that there is absolutely nothing in this vegetable field. Simple. I just don't know where this formation leads to. Suju thought secretly. According to Manhai's memory, the gods live in another place called the God Realm, and the entire world is controlled by the king of the God Realm. After the war between the three major heavenly tribes, the king of gods was also seriously injured. There were countless casualties, so the search for the entrance was put on hold. However, the people from the wilderness palace were still left behind to secretly investigate the entrance, but after so many years, nothing was found. Now many years have passed, the king of Kai is about to wake up, and the gods have also recovered. When they were almost there, they gathered their strength and tried to find the entrance again. But Manhai didn't expect that Suju's appearance would lead to the annihilation of their entire army. However, in Manhai's memory, he only knew that this entrance was very important to the Protoss. As for the entrance, Manhai doesn't know what's behind it. System, do you know where this entrance leads to? Suju asked. Host, I don't know where it leads, but I can tell you one thing. To open this formation, you need a treasure, and this treasure is in the hands of the gods. Doesn't my master key still have one chance to use, but it can't open this formation? Suju asked. Of course you can, but after the formation is activated, without the guidance of the secret treasure, you will get lost in the space. Suju nodded. After all, he still needed the secret treasure in the hands of the gods. This secret treasure must be in the hands of the king of the realm, but Suju didn't know why they opened this entrance. Since the entrance is the vegetable field, the gods will definitely come to find it. Just wait for them when the time comes. Suju thought about it and immediately destroyed the map. This matter must not be known to others. Now that the four major forces are extinct, I can start making people from the upper world my fans. Suju smiled slightly. He didn't care about what was behind the entrance. All he cared about was his fans. In this battle, many demons also died, but it doesn't matter. There are many people in the upper world anyway. It was enough to make up for the loss this time. Thinking about it, Suju returned to the battlefield and found that both the demon clan and the spirit clan had tidied up the battlefield. As for Li Yuan, with Suju's consent, Anita had used special means to if he is imprisoned, he will definitely die. Boom. Thank you, Your Majesty, for your help. If it weren't for Your Majesty, my demon tribe would have suffered heavy losses this time. Anita looked at Suju and knelt down and said. Everyone in the demon clan also knelt down and looked at Suju respectfully. It doesn't matter, since the four major forces have been destroyed, you demons can also return to the upper world and govern the entire upper world together with the spirit clan. Suju said, otherwise, if the people in the upper world know that the four major forces are dead, I am afraid that the entire upper world will fall into war again. Don't worry, Lord, even though I am not the world spirit in the upper world now, the current world spirit still has to give me some face, and with its help, a big fight will definitely not break out, Guyur said. Suju nodded, chatted with everyone for a while, then left, and soon returned to the Taoist temple again. The matter in the upper realm has been settled, but the gods may soon come to the upper realm again. Looking at the vegetable field in front of him, Suju murmured. Now that he has almost used all his powerful methods, if the gods attack again, he may not be a match. Since there is no means, let's find some means first. Suju thought and opened the system. This battle has provided him with a lot of video material. When these videos are released, they will definitely get a lot of likes. As long as he has enough points, he can get more. When it comes to opening a dojo, it will not be easy to obtain various means. Soon, Suju edited a video and posted it directly to the world. Then he closed his eyes and rested, waiting for the points to arrive. As Suju the video was released, and the world became lively again. Senior Huanggu finally shines again. Unexpectedly, in the past few days, Senior Huanggu led the demons to the upper world. Aren't the strong men in the upper realm very strong? I didn't expect to be so vulnerable in front of the ancient predecessors. There are also those gods who are not so good. Senior Huanggu didn't take us with him when he went to the upper realm, but he took the demons with him. This is too biased. We also want to see such a big scene with our own eyes. You don't even look at your own strength. Other demon clans have powerful immortal emperors. The strongest one in our Dingtian world is only in the immortal realm. If you go to the upper world, you will just be cannon fodder. Everyone was talking a lot, and at the same time they gave likes without hesitation. At the same time, Anita and Guyu were also announced in the upper world the news of the return of the spirit race and the demon race. As soon as this news came out, the creatures in the upper world were shocked. Many people knew that the four major forces had been destroyed, and they also had thoughts in their hearts. However, these thoughts were quickly suppressed by the powerful methods of the spirit race and demon race, and the upper world gradually returned to peace. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaren. Chapter 183. This morning, Suju was lying on a chair enjoying Xiaoling's massage. Two figures appeared in front of Suju. The subordinates pay homage to the Lord. Anita and Guyu looked at Sujudeo respectfully. At this time, Anita and Guyu were different from before. Anita was wearing a gorgeous dress, and her whole body revealed a sense of the noble aura of the royal family. Guyu also has a delicate face and looks like everyone in her movements. Is everything settled? Suju glanced at the two of them and asked. 10 days have passed since the war. In these 10 days, the news of the appearance of the demon race and the spirit race has spread throughout the entire upper world, and they have once again jointly governed the entire upper world. Reporting back to the Lord, everything has been dealt with. Although there are still many complicated voices in the upper world that are dissatisfied with our two clans, it is no longer harmful, Anita said. Suju nodded. The return of these two clans will naturally cause dissatisfaction among many people. In addition, the four major forces have been destroyed, and there must be many sects who want to replace them. Fortunately, the demons and spirits, the strength of the clan itself is top-notch, not to mention that the two clans are now joining forces. Even if the creatures in the upper world are dissatisfied, there is nothing they can do. Now that everything has been dealt with, I will connect the 10,000 realms with the upper realm. Although it is important to suppress it with force, to truly govern the upper realm, we need to win the hearts and minds of the people. Sujudeo. The Lord is merciful. If all worlds are connected to the upper world, the creatures in the upper world should soon surrender. Guyu nodded and said. Well, of course, for the stubborn ones, you know what to do. Suju said with a smile. What he wants is fans. If someone is disobedient, he will not have the slightest mercy. Now, there are not tens of millions, but millions of people who have died in his hands. Rest assured, Lord, we know what to do. Anita and the two nodded. That's good. There's another thing I need to tell you in advance. I'm afraid the gods will attack again soon. Sujudeo. Lord, what is the purpose of this god clan coming to the upper world, and why do they keep staring at the upper world? Anita asked in confusion. When the gods came inexplicably, they were very confused. But in the end, they didn't know why the gods came, and the three tribes went to war. They are looking for an entrance. As for what is behind this entrance, I will not tell you, Suju said. The two nodded, then smiled. Although the gods are powerful, with the Lord here, they will only die if they come. This time they really realized how powerful the person in front of them was. Before, they thought Suju was just a strong person in the divine realm, but he killed the strong person from the divine race so lightly. I am afraid that his strength has broken through the divine realm and reached another level. A level. Suju shook his head. I won't hide this from you either. The entrance that the gods are looking for is right here. Suju said and pointed to the vegetable patch behind him. Anita and both of them looked surprised. There is indeed something strange about this place, with strong vitality and a special power that does not seem to belong to the upper world. Guyur frowned as she looked at the vegetable field in front of her. She had been the spirit of the world, but she had never felt this special power. I need to guard this place, so if the gods come, I won't be able to watch you at any time, and you need to prepare yourself in advance, Suju said. These words made Guyur and the two of them look surprised. No wonder the Lord would find such a dilapidated place to stay. It turned out to be to guard this passage. Lord, please rest assured that after the war between our three clans, our ancestors left many ways to restore our strength. As long as there is enough time, we can return to our peak state, Anita said. Suju nodded. Thinking about it, the gods are so powerful. Although the spirit race and the demon race finally disappeared, how could they not leave some powerful means to resist the gods? Then the three of them continued. After chatting for a while, Anita left and returned to the upper world again to deal with many things. Suju used means to connect the 10,000 worlds with the upper world. The world spirits in the upper world also knew that Suju was so powerful that instead of stopping him, he helped a lot. In less than a day, the world was connected to the upper world. At the same time, the demons and spirits also publicized things about the world. Many creatures from the upper world entered the world with curiosity. Ding dong, please name the video to be released soon. Let's call it The Fall of the Wilderness Palace. Ding dong, the video was named successfully. Do you want to use the advanced recommendation ticket? Use. As Suju finished speaking, the new video was also released to all realms. At the same time, many creatures in the upper realm also saw the light and shadow that Suju had just released. This 10,000 realms is quite interesting. It allows so many cultivators to enter and exchange their cultivation experiences. The Fall of the Wilderness Palace. Does this light and shadow know how the Wilderness Palace fell? Let me go. Who is this ancient emperor? More than 60 billion people are paying attention to him. This is too scary. Many upper world creatures who have just come into contact with the world are very curious, especially after learning about the ancient emperor. They are even more shocked. The number of fans is more than 60 billion, which is a terrifying number. Many of their sects only had 1 million fans at their peak. And after seeing the content in the video, the creatures in the upper world were also shocked again. Oh my god, who is this great ancient emperor? He actually killed the entire Savage Palace with one person. What is the Savage Palace? This is obviously one of the 3 major heavenly clans. But having said that, the gods seem to be more powerful. This ancient emperor is so powerful and terrifying. No wonder so many people pay attention to this person. He turned out to be such a powerful person. It is said that the reason why the 4 major forces were destroyed was also related to this ancient emperor. While everyone was shocked, they all paid attention to Suju and tried to imitate others to like Suju's video. In just one day, Suju's number of fans increased by 5 billion, and the number of likes reached nearly 70 billion. Ding dong, the fall of the Emperor video likes list has ended, please check it yourself. At noon the next day, the system's voice sounded in Suju's mind, and Suju also opened the rankings to check. When she saw the top 3 people on the ranking list, Suju curled her lips because these 3 people were all from the upper world. Immortal Emperor Zhang Zhangqiao, 2.3 billion likes. Immortal Emperor Yugu, 2.2 billion likes. Immortal Emperor White Jade Lan, 2.1 billion likes. These 3 people are in charge of the most powerful sect in the upper world now besides the 4 major forces of the imperial court. All the people were carefully selected by Suju. If even the treasures cannot make your hearts flutter, then you will have to pay with your life. Suju smiled slightly, and then began to distribute rewards. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 184. Linghai sect is the top sect in the upper world. In the main hall. What do you think this ancient emperor is? He was able to destroy the barbarian palace. It is said that the collapse of the imperial court was also related to him. Linghai sect leader Zhang Jiao asked with a frown. Sect master, according to the news, both the demon race and the spirit race seem to have surrendered to this ancient emperor. His strength may have reached a level that we can hardly imagine. Even the gods are no match for him. Yes, the ancient emperor released a lot of lights and shadows before. These lights and shadows are also good for our cultivation. Some disciples in the sect are said to have improved their cultivation after observing these lights and shadows. Although this ancient emperor is not in the upper world, there are demons and spiritual people here. He has actually controlled the upper world. I don't know if he will take action against our Linghai sect in the future. Several elders of Linghai sect said with furrowed brows. Zhang Zhangqiao didn't say anything. Even if they wanted to attack Linghai sect in the future, they would have no choice. After all, their strength was indeed inferior to others. Sect master, this 10,000 realms is interesting, and it also has a like function. Now the sect master's comments have received the highest number of likes at this time, an elder said with a smile. Zhang Zhangqiao snorted coldly, what's the use of this thing? If you have the skill to praise it, it's better to practice hard. Every time you improve your strength, you will be able to deal with the spirits and demons in the future. The elder smiled and said nothing, but his mind was still immersed in the world. Swish. At this moment, a figure quickly flew in from outside. Sect master, it's not good. My wife's illness has worsened. I'm afraid she won't be able to survive for long. What? Hearing this, Zhang Jiangqiao's expression changed, and without hesitation, his figure immediately disappeared. In a room of Linghaizong, a woman was lying on the bed with a pale face, and her breath was very low. May die at any time. Madam, how are you? Don't worry, I'll save you right now. Zhang Jiangqiao's figure appeared. Looking at the woman's appearance, his eyes were filled with distress. As he spoke, he was about to explode his strength and input the power of immortal energy to continue his life. Sect master, no need, ahem, I'm afraid my health won't get better. When I go, you will be fine and have nothing to worry about. The woman took Zhang Jiangqiao's hand with a faint smile on her face. Madam, don't say such things, there must be a way to save you. Zhang Zhangqiao shook his head, his eyes full of reluctance. Lying on the bed was his wife, but she suffered from a strange disease many years ago. He searched all over the upper world but could not find a cure. He could only see he watched the other person lose weight day by day. Until one day, Li Yuan from the imperial court suddenly told him that he could refine a panacea to save his wife, but the price was to submit to the emperor. The panacea is an extremely top-notch elixir. Can get rid of all the bad conditions of oneself and return to the peak. The recipe for this elixir has long been lost, and the natural materials and earthly treasures required for its refining are also very scarce. Although Zhang Zhangqiao wants to cure his wife, but he was unwilling to surrender, so he kept delaying it. But who would have thought that now that the imperial court was destroyed, he would completely lose the way to save his wife. Although Li Yuan is dead, the way to save him may be in the imperial court. Madam, please persist, and I will go to the imperial court to find a way. Zhang Zhangqiao said. Now that the imperial court is the territory of the demon clan, he can't guarantee whether he will live or die when he goes there, but he has to try. Ding dong, because you ranked first in the likes list for the fall of the Savage Palace Light and Shadow, and received the panacea rewarded by the ancient emperor, please pay attention to check it. Just when he was about to take action, a voice from the world rang in his mind, which made him stunned. What's going on? Number 1 in the likes list? A panacea? Zhang Zhangqiao frowned. If it was about other things, he might ignore it, but regarding the ancient emperor, he still clicked on 10,000 realms, and it wouldn't take long anyway. Ding dong, you have received the panacea rewarded by the ancient emperor. Panacea, after taking it, it can restore itself to its peak state and get rid of all diseases. Looking at the introduction of the panacea, Zhang Zhangqiao couldn't help but be stunned. This was actually the panacea he needed. He has been studying how to cure his wife for many years. His cultivation may not have increased much, but he has already become the top alchemist in the upper world. After just one glance, he was sure that this panacea was real. What does this ancient emperor mean? Why do you want to give me a panacea as a gift? Zhang Zhangqiao frowned. Puff. But at this moment, the woman spurted out a mouthful of blood, which made Zhang Zhangqiao come back to his senses immediately. No matter what the ancient emperor is for, let his wife take this panacea first. Thinking of this, Zhang Zhangqiao hurriedly fed the woman the panacea. Buzz. As she took the elixir, the woman who was originally dying gradually calmed down and her face gradually became rosy. Poof. Just a few seconds passed, and the woman suddenly screamed and spit out a mouthful of blood again, but the blood was black. Sect leader, what's wrong with me? The woman felt her body, and her eyes were full of surprise. Before, she felt weak all over her body, and if she moved even a little, her whole body would feel like tens of thousands of ants biting her. But now, she found that her body was full of strength, and her energy were all gone. He is recovering quickly, and even his cultivation level has recovered by more than half. It is indeed a panacea. Madam, don't worry, your disease has been cured. Now you just need to adjust your breathing, Zhang Zhangqiao said in surprise. The woman nodded, and then sat up cross-legged, her thoughts flowing and her breath gradually rising. What does this ancient emperor mean? Looking at his wife practicing, Zhang Zhangqiao became confused. It is impossible for a person like the ancient emperor to come to curry favor with him. Since it is not currying favor with him, is it trying to win over him? Just as he was thinking about it, a wave of energy suddenly appeared, and Zhang Zhangqiao waved again, and two illusory figures appeared in front of him. It was the ancient immortal emperor and the white jade blue immortal emperor. Sect Master Zhang, Sect Master Bai, did you two get the reward from this ancient emperor just now? Asked immortal emperor Yugu. Do you also have rewards? I did hear just now that I got to the top of the likes list, and then I got a reward. Zhang Zhangqiao frowned and said. Me too, but I am third in the likes list. Master Yugu, do you also have this reward? Bai Yulan asked in surprise. Yes, if I guess correctly, you can take a look at the light and shadow of the fall of the Savage Palace released by the ancient emperor. The three of us just correspond to the ranking of likes. Yugu nodded and said that Zhang Zhangqiao and Bai Yulan also opened Wanja. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaren. Chapter 185. After opening Wanja again and clicking on the video, Zhang Zhangqiao and the two found that their number of likes was indeed among the top 3. Does it mean that as long as you enter the top 3, you can get a reward? Zhang Zhangqiao asked. This should be it. I watched all the lights and shadows of the ancient emperor. Under one of the lights, I found that the emperor once said that as long as the top 3 people in the likes list can get the rewards he gave. Immortal Emperor Yugu nodded. Zhang Zhangqiao and the other two also checked and found that Emperor Huanggu had indeed said such a thing. You too, I don't know what you have obtained. Although I am third, I have obtained a formation that is powerful enough to kill the Immortal Emperor. White Jade Blue Immortal Emperor said. What I gained is a magical power. I won't tell you what it is specifically, but it's pretty good anyway, Yuguxian Emperor said. What I got was a panacea, and my wife's strange illness has been cured by this panacea, Zhang Zhangqiao said. As he spoke, the 3 of them looked at each other. It seems that the higher the ranking, the more generous the rewards will be. I now understand why so many people are paying attention to this ancient emperor. His strong strength and prestige are one aspect, and the rewards on the likes list are also very attractive, Immortal Emperor Yugu said seriously. Anyway, when he obtained magical powers, he was overjoyed. Just now I thought that the ancient emperor was trying to win over us, but now it seems that this reward is just a rule he said earlier, Zhang Zhangqiao said with a bitter smile. Think about it, although his Linghai sect is not weak, it is much worse than the Demon Clan and the Spirit Clan. This ancient emperor can even destroy the powerful God Clan. In the eyes of the other party, their Linghai sect is like an ant. At least he will not give huge benefits to win over an ant. Sect leader Zhang, how do you, the Linghai sect, plan to deal with the current situation in the upper world? The 4 major forces of the imperial court have been destroyed, and the strongest ones are our sections, by Jade Blue Immortal Emperor asked. Zhang Zhangqiao hesitated for a while, and finally shook his head. If it weren't for the Demon Clan and the Spirit Clan, maybe our Linghai sect would still fight for it, but now, our Linghai sect just wants to stay out of it and live peacefully. Bai Yulan and Yugu nodded. They had the same idea. Now the Demon tribe and the Spirit tribe are too powerful, and these 2 forces are still subordinates of the ancient emperor. Even if they provoke them, it is useless. What's more, the ancient emperor, they are also given rewards through Wanja to increase their strength. As long as their own interests are not harmed, the current situation is not bad. Although we say this, we still need to express our attitude to the ancient emperor, otherwise it will be bad if we cause any misunderstanding, Immortal Emperor Yugu said. Once there is a misunderstanding, it will not have any impact on Emperor Huanggu, but they are likely to be destroyed directly. Zhang Zhangqiao and Bai Yulan nodded, and then opened one world. One after another sent a private message to the ancient emperor. These 3 guys are quite knowledgeable. Looking at the message from Zhang Zhangqiao and the others, Suju smiled slightly. Although the upper world has been suppressed by the demons and spirits, it is only temporary. Many monks are waiting to see what happens to powerful sects such as Linghai section, meaning, if these sects take the lead in uniting, the upper world will inevitably be in chaos again. Once too many people die, it also means that the number of Suju's fans will decrease, which is completely outweighed by the gain. He only has one wish, world peace, and he keeps a low profile, just develop. The fact that these 3 people were able to enter the top 3 in the rankings was also his instruction, which made the people in the Dingtian world and the demon and spiritual tribes take a step back. Otherwise, with the current state of the upper world, let alone the top 3, it's good to be in the top 100. After all, Suju has seen many crazy things done by many people in order to get into the top 3 of the likes list. As long as these sects don't get involved, the upper world will be stable. Suju nodded with satisfaction, and the next step was to win over people's hearts. Tonight I will open the dojo. Anyone who pays attention to me can come and listen to the sermon. Then Suju sent a message and pinned it directly to the top. A sermon will definitely convince more people in the upper world, and he also happens to lack some powerful means, so he can get the best of both worlds. Senior Huanggu is about to start preaching again. You must not miss it tonight. I really miss the time when Senior Huanggu preached 3 times a day. This time I have to seriously understand the sermon and strive to break through to the heavenly realm. The people in the upper realm must be very lucky. They just entered the 10,000 realms when they met Senior Huanggu. As Suju's message was sent out, everyone left replies one after another. At the same time, the number of likes on this comment also skyrocketed. In less than half an hour, it exceeded 10 billion. It's a big jump away from the top 3 in the likes list. Everyone in the Dingtian world is overjoyed, but the creatures in the upper world are full of doubts. What does this message from the ancient emperor mean? I know how to preach, but how can I preach in this world? Could it be that light and shadow are also recorded for us to listen to sermons? Who knows, we will know by night. Just the light and shadow can make me understand a lot of things. If I can see the ancient emperor preaching in person, I am afraid the harvest will be even greater. For a time, the creatures in the upper world also began to look forward to it. Ding dong, the exchange store has been refreshed, please check it yourself. At the same time, the system's voice sounded in Suju's mind. Now I have 23 million points and I don't know what good things are in the redemption store this time. Suju smiled slightly and opened the exchange shop as he spoke. Divine Realm Pill, it can be taken by 9th level immortal emperors. After taking it, you can break through to the quasi-god realm and gain 20 million points. 9 heavenly pillars, a special treasure that can support the heaven and earth after use. The world supported by this heavenly pillar will be in a closed state and can completely resist the attacks of the ancient gods. 30 million points. Dongtian Paradise, you can enter Dongtian Paradise to practice for 7 days, with 10 million points. Soul Refining Ghost Lock, a special treasure that ignores the target's realm and can seal the target's soul and manipulate it at will. 10 million points. Looking at the 4 items in the exchange shop, Suju almost spat out a mouthful of blood. After looking at the more than 20 million points in his account, Suju had only one word in her mind. Poverty. The total of these 4 items actually required 70 million points. He was still short of more than 40 million points to purchase them all. I didn't expect that the prices of items in the exchange store are so high now. Suju sighed. It seems that with his strength, the prices in the exchange store will also increase, and he will still have to live a life of 1 meal and 1 meal. Forget it, just buy what you can buy first. Thinking about it, Suju looked at the exchange shop. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 186. Ding dong, the host spent 10 million points and successfully purchased Cave Heaven Paradise. Ding dong, the host spent 10 million points to successfully purchase the Soul Refining Ghost Lock. As the system finished speaking, there were only 4 million points left in Suju's points account. Fortunately, there are a lot of video materials from the previous battles, and now that I have become famous in the upper world, if I give a sermon tonight and then release the video, more people will definitely become my fans. Suju smiled slightly. Now he has 70 billion fans. Posting a video is equivalent to earning 7 million points. He only needs a few videos to redeem the 2 remaining items in the store and buy them all. Thinking about it, Suju fell asleep and waited for the arrival of the night. Spirit world. The world where the gods live. Although the creatures in this world call themselves the gods to the outside world, in fact, they are similar to the upper world internally, and various races live in this world. On Mount Kyo, a grand palace stands on the top of the mountain. There are countless powerful people guarding it, and ordinary people cannot even think of entering it. In the main hall, 12 old men stood on both sides, and above them there was a white light group. Lord Kyo, the savage tribe has been lurking in the upper realm for hundreds of thousands of years, but recently there has been no news. We suspect that people in the upper realm have discovered the savage tribe. An old man came forward and said, "Oh, is there such a thing?" After the war that year, although our god clan retreated, the demon clan and the spirit clan also suffered heavy losses. With the strength of the savage clan, even if they were discovered, there would be no news at all. You need to find out about this matter. A voice rang out from the light group, echoing in the hall. Don't worry, Lord Kyo, we are ready to send people to investigate. In addition, in the god realm, the battle between the giants and the beasts has broken out again. Do we need to send people to stop it? The old man asked. The giants and the beasts are both races in the god realm. The two races have been entangled for countless years, and they are still fighting today. Let them make a fuss, as long as it doesn't make a big fuss. Kai Wangdeo. Humph, Kyo-sama has been sleeping for so many years, and the internal battles between our gods have become more and more intense. They just see that Kyo-sama's strength has not yet awakened, so they continue to cause trouble. Another old man snorted coldly. It doesn't matter, our Kyo-san rarely interferes in the battles between various clans, but if there are any that are excessive, we still need to give them a good beating after our Kyo-san fully recovers. Kai Wang said, by the way, have you investigated the entrance matter clearly? Report back to Lord Kyo. According to our investigation, the entrance is in the upper realm. However, the war caused the upper realm to fall apart and many small worlds evolved. We don't know where the entrance is. As long as you make sure you are in the upper realm, it will be fine. We gods have been away from that place for too long, and it is time to go back. King of the realm said, and the hall fell into silence. At night, while everyone was expecting, a voice suddenly sounded in the world. Ding dong, the ancient emperor has opened the dojo. Since you are following the ancient emperor, are you sure to enter the dojo? When seeing this news, the people in the upper world who didn't understand looked hesitant, but the people in Dingtian world and the demon race directly clicked to confirm with joy. Demon Emperor, can the Lord really preach in this world? Guyur looked at Anita and asked curiously. Of course, we can. We have all listened to the Lord's sermons countless times. However, we heard that when our demons unlocked the bloodline imprisonment, the Lord opened the dojo 3 times a day. It's a pity that we missed it. Thinking about it, we still feel a little regretful. Anita smiled. Also, the Lord is so powerful that even the spirits of the world must fear him. It is normal to have such a method. Guyur smiled slightly and clicked to confirm as she spoke. Then the scene in front of her changed, as if she had entered a space tunnel. After a few seconds, she appeared in another space. This is the Lord's sermon space, and all previous sermons were given here. Anita looked at Guyur and said. Talking about space? Guyur looked at the space in front of her, her eyes full of surprise. The whole space was constructed by a special power, and the ground was covered with all kinds of strange flowers. There were grasses, some of which she had never seen or heard of. There were all kinds of monsters with different shapes in the sky. Although each monster did not exude a powerful aura, it still made her heart palpitate. Let's go, the Lord is preaching on the platform. As Anita said, she pulled Guyur and flew towards the sky. Soon the two of them arrived on the Taoist platform. This platform is as big as a world. Guyur couldn't help but say while looking at the platform under her feet. When she was down there, she thought the platform was very small, but when she came to the platform, she realized that she couldn't see it at all. At the edge. At this time, there were already many people sitting on the platform. They were all closing their eyes and recuperating, preparing to listen to the sermon in the best condition. Let's go over there. Anita took Guyur to the front and found a place to sit down, but there was an empty space in front of her. Who is this position reserved for? Guyur asked curiously. This location doesn't look like a place where the Lord would preach. This position is reserved for a woman named Chuluying, because she is the only person the Lord currently favors. Although the Lord has not stated it clearly, everyone knows that this position should be given to her, Anita said with eyes full of envy. Although Anita is now the demon emperor of the demon clan, she naturally has admiration for the ancient emperor in her heart. After all, in the world of cultivation, no one does not admire the strong. The right person. Guyur suddenly realized that she had also observed all the lights and shadows of the ancient emperor, and knew that there was indeed such a thing. This woman looks unusual, she is actually the only one who is favored by the Lord at the moment. I wonder when I will be able to get closer to the Lord, Guyur couldn't help but think. At the same time, people from the upper world also came to the preaching space one after another. Looking at the space in front of them, everyone in the upper world showed surprised expressions. They didn't expect that there were still people in the world. There is such a place. You two are here too. Zhang Zhangqiao looked at Bai Yulan and Yugu and said. Naturally, I wanted to come and take a look, but I didn't expect that the ancient emperor's methods were so powerful. With our strength, although we can open up a space in the world, we still can't let so many people in, Bai Yulan said. From what they could see at a glance, there are already at least tens of billions of people, not to mention that there are more people entering this place. This space is enough to compare with the world. The three of them chatted for a while, and also brought the people from his sect flew towards the Taoist platform. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaren. Chapter 187. Arriving on the Taoist platform, Zhang Zhangqiao and the others were once again shocked by the scene in front of them. People, they are all people. Even the huge crowds cannot express the current scene. Tell me, how many people are here? Zhang Zhangqiao took a deep breath and said. I think there are at least 30 billion people. Yugu smacked his tongue. What is the concept of 30 billion people? It means that if he farts here, everyone who smells it can drown him with a spit of spit. This hasn't even started yet. I think there will be at least 40 billion people here in the end, Bai Yulan said. Nowadays, there are 70 billion people paying attention to the ancient emperor. Even if 40 billion people can come, it will be enough to shock countless people. However, their thinking is still too simple. As time goes by, they find that people are getting more and more, there are more and more people. There are not only 40 billion people, but now it has reached 60 billion people. I have never seen someone get so many people to come just by sending out a message. Zhang Zhangqiao couldn't help but say. Even if a piece of news spreads out in the former imperial court, it would be great to have tens of millions of people gathering. But compared with the scene in front of him, it is nothing at all. Even if they are powerful, the powerful immortal emperor was still deeply shocked. Is this ancient emperor's sermon really so important? Yugu asked curiously. It was completely impossible for so many people to show up to listen to the sermon before, but now he saw it with his own eyes. Then the three of them prepared to find a better seat to sit down and wait. But turned around and looked around, and found that there was no good seat anywhere. As soon as they paused, the front was already full of people, and even the back was the same. They almost didn't even have a place to stay. Got it? I didn't expect that. We are a giant in the upper world, but here we don't even have a place. Bai Yulan smiled bitterly and shook her head. After searching for a long time, she finally found a place to sit down. There are many people who have the same distress as Bai Yulan and the other three, such as the Blood Knife sect, a first-class sect in the upper world. Blood Knife as a first-class sect in the upper world, the strength of the sect cannot be denied. The disciples in its sect are the most bloodthirsty. If anyone dares to provoke the Blood Knife sect, the entire sect will come out. It is precisely because of this that in the upper world, the disciples of the sect are the most bloodthirsty. Although there are many sects that are stronger than the Blood Knife sect, few sects are willing to provoke them. After all, once provoked, it means that the whole sect will go to war. The leader of the Blood Knife sect, Shui, is a powerful 7th-level immortal emperor. At this time, standing in the distance and looking around, there are tens of thousands of disciples behind you. Sect Master, why don't we stay here? After all, this ancient emperor is very powerful. If we force ourselves to go to the front, we may cause trouble, Shui Kong, the great elder of the Blood Knife sect said. Humph, when has my Blood Knife sect ever felt so aggrieved? Although the ancient emperor is powerful, he absolutely does not dare to attack us here now, Sui snorted coldly. Sect Master, what do you mean? Now the demon tribe and the spirit tribe have just returned to the upper realm. These two tribes are all subordinates of the ancient emperor. This means that the upper realm is now in the possession of the ancient emperor. Do you think these people in the upper realm will be willing to do so? Sui sneered, I have investigated and found that although the demons and spirits have returned to the upper realm and are powerful, they rarely see rivers of blood. I guess this is all the intention of the ancient emperor. After all, although the demons and spirits are powerful, if they are provoked, the monks in the upper world will definitely attack in groups. At that time, the upper world will fall into war again, and the ancient emperor will definitely not want to see such a scene. Hearing this, the great elder suddenly showed a look of surprise. Sect Master, do you mean that if he attacks us here, we can stir up unhappiness in the hearts of the monks in the upper world? If the ancient emperor didn't want to see such a thing happen, he wouldn't attack us, the great elder asked. That's right, not only can't he attack us, but he must also treat us with courtesy, otherwise he will wait for the strong men in the upper world to start a war. Sui nodded and said. In this case, Sect Master, then we. Come on, follow me to find a better seat in front. If anyone is dissatisfied, don't be polite, but just leave some room. Shui said, and led the people of the Blood Knife sect towards the front. Give way to me, didn't you see our Blood Knife sect coming? If anyone is ignorant, don't blame us, the Blood Knife sect, for being rude. Get out of my way. Is this a place where you can sit? With Shui taking the lead, the disciples of the Blood Knife sect were not afraid. They drove the monks in front and strode towards the front. Look, those are people from the Blood Knife section. They dare to make trouble here. This is because they don't take Emperor Huanggu seriously. The people of the Blood Knife sect are used to being arrogant. I don't know how the ancient emperor will deal with it. Let's just watch from here. The Blood Knife sect is not something we can mess with. The people in this sect are all lunatics. The actions of the Blood Knife sect also attracted the attention of many people. Everyone they knew had to avoid him. Even those who didn't know him did not dare to come forward and say too much when seeing so many people on the other side. Just like that, everyone from the Blood Knife sect marched straight in and soon came to the front of the Taoist platform. This Blood Knife sect is really looking for death. Anita looked at the scene and said with a smile on her face. He was indeed seeking death. If the Lord had not allowed it, he would have died long ago, Guyuer said. The Lord told us not to do anything, because he must be trying to scare the monkeys. Although the upper realm is suppressed by our two races, there are still many people who have ideas in their hearts. As the two said, they closed their eyes again and ignored what the Blood Knife sect was doing, because they knew that the Lord was watching all this. At this time, Blood River also came to Anita and the other two. Anita and Sui naturally knew each other. This was the leader of the Demon Clan and the Spirit Clan. Although he was crazy, he was not stupid enough to go against these two people. Since these two people couldn't move, Shui looked elsewhere, and finally landed on Chu Luying, who was sitting in the front. Does a mere ant deserve to sit here? Looking at Chu Luying's back, Shui sneered. He could feel that Chu Luying had not even reached the realm of earthly immortal. Among the people around her, she was the best to bully. Little girl, if you have any sense, get out of here, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. Sui looked at Chu Luying and said calmly. Let me go. Who is this person? He dares to speak like this to Fairy Luying. Doesn't he know who Fairy Luying is? Why do you care so much and dare to disrespect Fairy Luying? He might still be alive before, but now he is dead. Seeing that Shui was actually targeting Chu Luying, everyone who knew the truth secretly shook their heads. If you touch the other party, you might as well touch Anita and the two people next to you. I'll give up my position, I'm afraid you are not qualified. Chu Luying was still sitting cross-legged on the ground. A cold voice sounded. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 188. Hearing Chu Luying's words, Shui was stunned. He didn't expect that an ant would dare to talk to him like this. Arrogant, who do you think you are? How dare you talk to our sect master like this? I think you are just impatient with life. If our sect leader is not qualified, how can you, an ant who has not even reached the earthly immortal realm, be qualified? I advise you to get up quickly, otherwise you will be ready to die once we take action. Everyone in the Blood Knife sect spoke one after another, their eyes filled with disdain. A mere ant actually dares to be arrogant in front of their Blood Knife sect, and they don't even ask, who in the entire upper world dares to provoke their Blood Knife sect? Little girl, it seems that you don't want to give me the Blood Knife sect face anymore. Sui snorted coldly. As he spoke, the power surged in his body, and a powerful aura headed towards Chu Luying Luo. How about not giving it? Chu Luying said lightly. Okay, since you don't give the sect leader face, then I have nothing to be polite to you. Boom. After Shui finished speaking, the power within his body exploded and he directly struck Chu Luying with a palm. Seeing this scene, everyone at the scene was shocked. They didn't expect that Sui would dare to take action here. Anita also opened her eyes and was about to stop her, but was stopped by Guyur. She didn't believe that the Lord would let Chu Luying be injured. This is the result of provoking my Blood Knife sect. Looking at Chu Luying's back, Sui laughed ferociously. With so many people present now, after this incident, the reputation of the Blood Knife sect will surely be resounding throughout the world, and no one in the upper world will dare to provoke her again. Buzz. But the next second Shui was stunned, because his attack did fall, but it landed on Chu Luying, but it had no effect at all. Instead, a wave of waves swayed from Chu Luying's body, breaking his attack. How can this be? Shui frowned. This Chu Luying has clearly not reached the realm of Earth Immortal. He is just an ant in the lower realm. He is a 7th level Immortal Emperor. Any move can kill the opponent. But now it has no effect at all. It seems that the Blood Knife sect is nothing more than this. Chu Luying stood up slowly at this time, turned around and looked at the blood river. Her beautiful face was revealed, but it was covered with frost at this time. Impossible, how could you block my attack? Rumble. Shui gritted his teeth and started to attack again, but it landed on Chu Luying, but it had no effect at all. I understand. No wonder an ant like you doesn't take the Blood Knife sect seriously. It turns out that this space cannot be attacked. Shui looked like he suddenly realized that after all, they just came to this space as souls, and their physical bodies are still outside. It's normal that they can't attack. Yeah. Chu Luying snorted coldly, then waved her right hand, and a stream of light fell on Shui's body. Laugh. Ah. The next second, a tearing sound sounded, and a crack appeared on Xuehe's body. Strong pain swept through Xuehe, causing him to scream on the spot. At the same time, a wound also appeared on the body of Blood River outside the world. No, it's impossible. Why is your attack effective on me? Xuehe looked at Chu Luying incomprehensibly. Could it be that the other party was hiding his strength? He hit the iron plate? Because you are too weak. Laugh. Ah. After Chu Luying finished speaking, another attack fell on Xuehe, causing Xuehe to scream again. How dare you attack our sect and seek death? Swish swish swish. Everyone in the Blood Knife sect also reacted, and they all shouted angrily, and quickly launched various methods towards Chu Luying. Looking at these attacks, Chu Luying's face was dull. With a wave of her right hand, all the attacks disappeared. Court death. Swish. After Chu Luying finished speaking, tens of thousands of streams of light erupted from her hands, quickly falling on the disciples of the Blood Knife sect. Although these disciples wanted to resist, they did not have the ability to do so, and were restrained by these streams of light. Chu Luying raised her hand, and all of these disciples flew into the air. You Blood Knife sect are acting recklessly and dare to undermine Senior Huanggu's sermons. This is what you asked for. He. Ah. Chu Luying sneered, and a long whip appeared in her hand, which kept falling on these disciples. These disciples, who were unable to break free, could only bear the blows of the long whip and screamed in pain. For a moment, there were only sounds of whips and screams in the entire space, while others sat quietly and did not dare to move. However, everyone looked at Chu Luying with fear on their faces. They were still wondering why the other monk, who had not reached the earthly immortal realm, could sit at the front. Now it seems that the other party has powerful means. Fairy Luoying is so handsome, she is worthy of being the favored person of Senior Huanggu. It's strange. Yesterday, I had tea with Fairy Luoying. Although I am only at the realm of Tianzun, why can I deal with this Blood Knife sect person so easily? Don't forget where this place is and who Fairy Luoying is. I think it was Senior Huanggu who deliberately used means to make Fairy Luoying stronger. Everyone in Dingtian world started talking secretly, and looked at Chu Luying with a hint of awe in their eyes. Buzz. At this moment, a ray of light suddenly appeared on the sky. Everyone looked at it, and a figure slowly fell from it. Look, Senior Huanggu is here. I don't know how Senior Huanggu will handle this matter. Although the Blood Knife sect is wrong, I think Senior Huanggu will not punish him very much. After all, the upper world has just been controlled by the demon race and the spirit race. If the upper world powerhouse is dissatisfied now, a fight will inevitably happen. Fart, it's not like you don't know the temperament of Senior Huanggu. Is Senior Huanggu someone who is afraid of getting into trouble? Suju's words made many people frown, and Chu Luying also stopped her tactics. Everyone in the Blood Knife sect fell to the ground. The junior has met the Senior Huanggu. Chu Luying saluted Suju. Well, Luoying, you are too rude about this. Suju nodded. Hearing this, everyone at the scene was slightly startled. This was the first time they heard that Emperor Huanggu was being killed by Fairy Luoying. Could it be that Senior Huanggu wanted to help the Blood Knife sect? Huh, Senior Huanggu, Suihe, respect you as a strong man, that's why I came to listen to the sermon, but I didn't expect to be so insulted by this woman. Xuehe also stood up when he heard this and looked at Suju with a cold face. Although the upper world is now controlled by you, such actions do not take the monks in the upper world into consideration. No matter what, you must give me an explanation today and give an explanation to the monks in the upper world. Suihe looked at Suju with a sneer in his heart. He had roped in all the monks in the upper world. He didn't believe that in front of so many people, the ancient emperor would go against everyone in the upper world. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 189. After hearing Shuehi's words, everyone at the scene looked at Suju. Especially these monks in the upper world, the four major forces were destroyed. They more or less have some ideas, but the demons and spirits are too powerful, so they have been holding back. The blood knife sects provoking trouble today seemed arrogant, but they also understood that the other party was testing the ancient emperor's attitude towards them. If the ancient emperor has a tough attitude, then they may have to consider whether to join a group to keep warm in the future. Luo Ying, you are so rude, you still need to practice more. Suju ignored Shuehi, looked at Chu Luying and said lightly. Luying knew she was wrong and asked Senior Huanggu to punish her. Chu Luying hurriedly bowed. Seeing this scene, a sneer flashed in Suihi's eyes. It was exactly what he thought. The ancient emperor did not dare to fight with all the powerful men in the upper world. Do you know where you are, rude? Suju looked at Chu Luying and asked. The juniors don't know, so please let the seniors of Huanggu make it clear. Suju smiled slightly. When you encounter such an ant, you are still unwilling to kill him, and you also let so many people see your rude methods. This is where you are wrong. After hearing this, everyone at the scene was slightly stunned. Was Emperor Huanggu not decisive enough when Fairy Luo Ying took action? Emperor Huanggu, what do you mean by this? Shuehi also frowned. From what he meant, they seemed to be in danger. Lu Ying, go and destroy their souls, Suju said lightly. Junior, obey. Chu Luying's eyes lit up. She thought she shouldn't fight against the powerful men in the upper world. It turned out that Senior Huanggu felt that what she did was not in line with her status as a fairy and that she should kill decisively. Thinking of this, Chu Luying sneered. Looking at the people of the Blood Knife sect, an energy wave appeared in his hand. You, what are you going to do? Emperor Huanggu, we are people in the upper world. Is it possible that you want to destroy all of us in the upper world? You demons and spirits occupy the entire upper world. It is normal for us to be dissatisfied, but you want to kill us. What is the difference between this and the devil? You guys in the upper world are such cruel and ruthless people. Is it possible that we all have to hold back and keep silent? If this continues, sooner or later we will be slaughtered by the other side. It would be worse than when the imperial court ruled the entire upper world. Feeling the energy fluctuations on Chu Luying's body, Shuehi was startled and hurriedly shouted, taking along the others from the upper realm with him. As soon as these words came out, many monks in the upper world felt a little shaken, and many even had plans to rescue them. Noisy. Swish. Ah! Chu Luying snorted coldly, and light erupted from her hand. Everyone in the Blood Knife sect was immediately enveloped in this light, and they let out screams one after another, and then their figures gradually disappeared. Emperor Huanggu, if you do this, the powerful men in my upper realm will definitely not let you do whatever you want. Shuehi roared angrily, and then dissipated among the screams. For a moment, the entire space fell into silence. The strong men in the upper realm were silent, and the others looked at the upper realm with a joking expression. The strong men in the upper world. Although the people in the upper world are stronger than them, they have the support of Senior Huang. What kind of person is Senior Huang? He dares to threaten the other party. Isn't this looking for death? Does anyone else have any objections? Suju looked at everyone and asked calmly. Everyone in the upper realm frowned, and many people looked at Zhang Zhangqiao and others. If these powerful sects in the upper realm were willing to take the lead, they would also follow. But at this time, Zhang Zhangqiao and others had closed their eyes to rest, as if they didn't know what was going on. Just kidding, they are not fools. Now if the people in the upper world are counted seriously, they are prisoners, and they are powerful sections. They were even more closely watched. If they came out to cause trouble at this time, they would probably all be wiped out. By then, the other people in the upper world would be just a mob, unable to survive at all. And they had seen the ancient emperor kill the powerful gods. The picture. The gods are so powerful, but they were still destroyed by the ancient emperor alone. All of them in the upper world combined cannot be the opponent of the other party. Since you can't resist, then enjoy it. At least from now on, the ancient emperor has not the plan to destroy their entire upper realm sect. Please remember that this is a world for the strong, and in front of me, everyone here is an ant. If you want to resist, just practice hard and become stronger than me. Suju said, without saying too much to everyone. He started to preach directly. When everyone in the upper world heard Suju's words, they were naturally dissatisfied, but even if they were dissatisfied, there was nothing they could do. Who said they were not as strong as the other party? And as Suju began to preach, everyone soon gradually forgot about the little episode just now, and even the people in the upper world gradually entered the state of enlightenment. This sermon lasted for 2 hours. It's over. During this process, many people in the upper realm have successfully broken through the realm. This surprised many people. They have been practicing for thousands of years and have been unable to break through a realm. They didn't expect that. They just listened to a sermon now, but now they can't break through a realm. With such a gain. For a time, many people's attitude towards the ancient emperor changed, but there were also some ambitious people among them. Luo Ying, from now on you should go to the demon clan. With Anita taking care of your cultivation, your strength will improve faster. After everyone left, Suju looked at Chu Luying and said, "Thank you, Senior Huanggu, for your love." Chu Luying hurriedly nodded in agreement. Now her strength is indeed too weak. She knows that if it hadn't been for the help of Senior Huanggu just now, she would have never been able to kill the people of the Blood Knife sect. Well, Anita, you lead people to destroy the Blood Knife section. Subordinates obey. Then several people left quickly, and the system's voice sounded in Suju's mind. Ding dong, the reward for this sermon has been settled for the host. After the system finished speaking, 3 treasure boxes appeared in front of Suju. Suju also smiled slightly and opened them to check. Holy Spirit Stone, the specific effect is unknown. Supervising Heaven Spirit Monument, it can be connected to all realms. After being connected, it can turn on the random transmission function and can be transmitted to the user's side. Mysterious Treasure Box, can be opened when you have 100 billion fans. Looking at the 3 things in the treasure box, Suju's eyes lit up. Although the Holy Spirit Stone is an unknown item, since the system has provided it, it will definitely have a huge role in the future. The mysterious treasure chest now has 70 billion fans and is not far away from 100 billion fans. It requires such conditions to open it, which shows that there must be good things inside. As for the supervisory Heaven Spirit Monument, Suju suddenly had an idea in his mind when he saw this thing. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 190. After leaving the preaching space, Suju called Guyur over. My lord, I wonder why I summoned my subordinates. Guyur looked at Suju and asked curiously. Swish. Suju's mind moved, and a half-meter high stone tablet appeared in front of Guyur. This is the Heaven Supervising Monument. From now on, the Supervising Heaven Division will be established and you will be in charge. As for the members, you will choose them from the spiritual tribe and the demon tribe Sujudeo. Guyur looked at the stone tablet. She could feel that there was a special energy wave on the stone tablet, which seemed to be connected to the world. My lord, I wonder what the duties of the supervisor are. Guyur asked. It's very simple. The supervisor TNC mainly maintains the order in the 10,000 realms. As long as you have used 10,000 realms, This supervisory sky spirit tablet allows you to teleport to it at will and dispose of it, Suju said. Although Supervisor TNC sounds very powerful, he was actually the internet policeman on Earth in his previous life. However, it would have taken a lot of effort for the internet policeman in his previous life to find someone online. But with this Supervisor TNC spirit, the monument is different. It is truly possible to kill you along the network cable. I didn't expect that the master would have such a treasure, so my subordinates knew what to do. Guyuer's eyes lit up and he said, there are at least hundreds of billions of users in the world, and some of them will definitely be unruly. Once this kind of thing happens, it will be more troublesome to deal with it. But if you have this supervisory heaven spirit monument, it's much easier. If you dare to mess around, no matter where you go, you can be found at any time. Well, how is your Eldar strength recovering? Suju nodded and asked. Reporting to the Lord, the strength of our spiritual clan has not yet fully recovered, but now there are hundreds of people in the clan who have reached the divine realm, Guyuer said. Suju was a little surprised. In the past few days, hundreds of people from the spirit clan have reached the divine realm. They are indeed one of the three major celestial clan in the past. It seems that after the war, the spirit clan also gave themselves, leaving a lot behind. Continue to restore your strength, I'm afraid the gods will come soon, Sujudeo. Hearing this, Guyuer frowned, my lord, if the gods come, unless your lord takes action, with our strength, I'm afraid. It doesn't matter, I will naturally handle this matter. After the gods come, you spirit race and demon race will hide, don't pay attention to it. Lord, if this is the case, these people in the upper world will not be able to stop them, and then there will be corpses everywhere, Guyuer said. The gods are already powerful, and the spirits and demons can still resist to a certain extent, but if they hide, these people in the upper world will die. Today's events have made me understand that I am still too kind to the people in the upper world. If I want to take action, I need them to beg me, otherwise I will only let them take advantage of me by coddling them. Suju snorted coldly, with a cold light flashing in his eyes. Before, he wanted to protect the people in the upper world because he wanted these people to become his fans, so that he would have more points. But he was still a little kid. After seeing the ambitions in the minds of the monks in the upper realm, since these guys think they are right, let them taste the feeling of being powerless. As for the fans, he, the ancient emperor, is not that bad. The subordinates understand and will inform the demons later. Guyuer nodded. She didn't have the slightest sympathy for the monks in the upper world. She just suffered for herself. I need to retreat for a few days. Before I leave the retreat, you should handle things by yourself during this period. After a few more explanations, Guyuer left and Suju also opened the system. System, open the cave heaven paradise. Ding dong, the host has opened the cave heaven blessed land, and the cultivation time is 7 days. If you leave in the middle, you will not be able to enter again. Do you want to enter now? Enter. Buzz. After Suju finished speaking, a stream of spiritual light suddenly erupted from his body, and then his figure disappeared from the spot. Is this the paradise of cave heaven? When he appeared again, Suju found himself on a huge lake, surrounded by mountains, which was quite pleasing to the eye. Host, the countdown to the paradise of cave heaven begins, and all you need to do is refine the power in the lake. Suju nodded, and then his figure fell into the lake. Buzz. As soon as he entered the lake, Suju noticed that the energy in his body was fluctuating, and at the same time, countless light spots around the lake were rushing towards his body. The energy contained in these light spots seems to be similar to the energy in my vegetable patch. Suju squinted his eyes, and started practicing without any further delay. Now he is in another space, and here, he cannot use any magic weapon, including the Time Spirit Pagoda. Suju was practicing, and Anita had also led the demon clan to destroy the entire Blood Knife sect, and also eliminated some cancerous sects. At the same time, Anita also uploaded the video of the annihilation of the sect to the world, making many people in the upper world feel in danger. In the imperial court. Demon Emperor Anita, Your Majesty needs to retreat for a few days. If the gods come during this period, neither of our tribes need to pay attention. Your Majesty will teach the upper realm monks a bloody lesson. Guyur looked at Anita and said. The master's move is great. There are too many people in the upper world who are dissatisfied with us, but the master doesn't want to do it himself. If the gods come, there will be a river of blood, Anita said with a smile. In the eyes of a race like theirs that was born and bred, there is no difference between other races and grassroots. No matter how many people die, it doesn't matter to them. Well, having said that, I hope that the gods will come soon. In addition, the Lord also asked us to establish the supervisory heaven division. Guyur told Anita some of the things Suju told her, and the two of them started to deal with it. Within Linghai sect. You two, what do you think about the blood knife sect? Zhang Zhangqiao looked at Bai Yulan and Yugu and asked. The ancient emperor is killing chickens to scare monkeys. To the other party, we are indeed ants. If we make the other party unhappy, it doesn't matter if the monks in the upper world are killed, just like we strangle the creatures in other small worlds. Yugudeo. Speaking of which, Emperor Huanggu is pretty good to us. Not only does he allow us to participate in the likes ranking list and get rewards, but he can also listen to the sermon. This time, hundreds of people in my sect have broken through a small realm, and dozens of people have broken through 2 small realms, Bai Yulan said. This ancient emperor preached, even if we can understand it, its strength has long been beyond our reach, and the matter of the blood knife sect, in my opinion, is just to shoot the first bird. Today the demon clan leads people and annihilates them. He killed several cancerous sects but did not affect others. Zhang Zhangqiao said, besides, our Linghai sect doesn't like fighting. If the ancient emperor is willing to live in peace, it doesn't matter to us. The two nodded. Anyway, they would not put themselves in danger to avoid following in the footsteps of the blood knife sect.